นายอรหันต์เหรอมาเห็นเช้าตอนเช้า
อ๋อโยมว่าจะลองงด
ฮะ
ว่าจะลองงดดูช่วงนี้มันฟุ้งซ่าน
ทำไม
มันเริ่มฟุ้งซ่านเริ่มคิด
ทำไมต้องคิดมาก
มันเจอผู้คนเจออะไรโยมก็เลยว่าอยากจะตัดแบบแยกโลกส่วนตัวจะให้ดูว่าที่จริงไม่ได้เกี่ยวกับอาหารนะคะของโยมนี่คือโยมจะจิตใจอ่อนไหวง่ายเพราะฉะนั้นเวลาเจอคนเจออะไรแล้วมันจะไปเรื่อยก็เลยเรียกเลยค่ะ
ใช่วันอาทิตย์ก็เจอคนเยอะบอกตัวเองไม่ต้องสน
บางทีก็มาหาเรา
ใครมาหาคนเหรอบ
างคนก็
นายใครมีชีแดงเหรอตอนเช้า
แบบแม่ป๊อก
อ๋อแม่ป๊อกเนาะ
มาบอกว่าจะมาปฏิบัติธรรม
วันเสาร์
แล้วเขานอนคนเดียวไม่ได้คุณทวดไม่มาเขาจะมาขออยู่กับโยมนอนกับโยมโยมก็เลยบอกว่าให้มากราบเรียนหลวงพ่อ
ก็มาแล้วมากับลูกสาวตุ๊กตาก็นอนที่นี่ที่2 ห้องก็ได้นะปอบกับลูกสาวไม่ต้องกวนนะ
เขาบอกว่านอนไม่ได้
เดี๋ยวจะบอกเองอันนี้ไม่มีคำถามหรอ
คือช่วงหลังนะคะอยากจะถามหลวงพ่อว่าคือเนื่องจากว่าโยมนั่งสมาธิเสร็จแล้วโยมพยายามปรับตัวเองคือหมายความว่าเวลานั่งบางทีมันเอง แล้วอะไรอย่างนี้ค่ะทีนี้โยมก็เลยว่านึกถึงพระเวลานั่งตั้งแต่นั่งตรงเพราะว่ามันจะต้องนั่งได้นานแล้วก็ต้องไม่เจ็บปวดทีนี้พอโยมมาเพ่งตำแหน่งของร่างกายมันก็เลยแบบว่าไม่สงบมันก็มาอยู่ที่ตำแหน่งของร่างกายตอนนี้เราเองลงแล้วเราปรับมาอะไรอย่างเงี้ยโยมก็เลยอยากจะกลับเรียนถามหลวงพ่อว่าเวลานั่งสมาธิจริงๆเนี่ยคือเขาจะต้องทำอย่างไรตัวจะต้องตั้งตรงแล้วเวลามันเอ็นลงเราพยายามประคองมันหรือว่ายังไงเจ้าค่ะ
ไม่ต้องทำอะไรนั่งปล่อยมันปล่อยมันมันกิเลสนะมันกิเลสทำให้ง่วงเนี่ยไม่ต้องสนใจของเราสนใจนะอยู่กับพุทโธกับลมหายใจนะเมื่อสู่สมาธิแล้วเมื่อเข้าสู่สมาธิแล้วนะมันร่างกายมันจะตรงเองเพราะว่ากิเลสออกไปแล้วมันจะเห็นชัดเจนแปลกมากนะมันกิเลสทำให้ร่างกายนั้นเงียบนี่เนี่ยนะและเดี๋ยวนี้มันจะแก้ตัวอะไรกิเลสก็ชอบนะแต่สุดท้ายก็มันสู่สมาธิไม่ได้นะเข้าสมาธิก็ไม่ได้มันก็ไม่ต้องซ้ำนะเวลาเป็นแบบนี้ก็เป็นแบบนี้เวลาเป็นแบบนี้เวลาเป็นแบบนี้ก็เป็นแบบนี้ก็ไม่ต้องสนใจเรื่องพุทโธก็ลมหายใจเวลาเข้าสมาธิแล้วนะมันจะตรงเองนะ
มีหลายโยมก็
ใช่หลวงพ่อเคยยุ่งเหมือนกันนะคิดว่าต้องนั่งท่องนะ หนึ่งครั้งนะเนี่ยไม่ขยับนะบอกว่าไม่ขยับนั่งแต่มันเห็นอยู่นะเทศนาก็มานะไม่เอานะไม่เอานะแต่มันยากนะมันลำบากด้วยมันเจ็บตัวด้วยแต่หลวงพ่ออยากรู้กลายเป็นชาวของร่างกายกิเลสก็เราแต่ช่วงแรกไม่ต้องสนใจนะถึงมีสติบ้างถึงมีสมาธิบ้างนะโอเคมันแก1 ครั้งก็2 ครั้งได้แต่ช่วงแรกก็ทำให้ใจสงบก่อนนะมันสำคัญนะอันนี้ก็ฝัดกับกิเลสตลอดเวลาและกิเลสก็ชอบนะเพราะว่าเดี๋ยวนี้ไม่สนใจเรื่องพุทโธเรื่องสนใจเรื่องที่นั่งแบบไหนนะนั่งเอียงแล้วไม่ดีนะมันต้องนั่งทองนะดีเอียงแล้วนะมันไม่ใช่สมาธิไม่ใช่ฝึกสมาธิโอเคไม่สงบเลยไม่ต้องสนช่วงแรกก็ไม่ต้องสนได้อยู่หลายเดือนแล้วนะทำไมยังไม่สู่สมาธิได้
คือมันก็สงบอยู่แต่ว่ามันเองแล้วมันจะปวดหลังทีนี้โยมก็เลยมาดูว่า
มันสงบยังไม่ใช่สมาธินะมันเป็นสงบอยู่นะแต่มันไม่ใช่สมาธินะ
มันก็มาติดตรงถ้าเกิดเราโพสิชันไม่ดีมันก็ปวดหลัง
คิดว่าจะอยู่กับเวลาความสงบขึ้นมาจะอยู่กับเวทนาสงบแต่นั้นมันไม่ใช่นะต้องอยู่กับพุทโธหรืออยู่กับลมหายใจอยู่กับพุทโธความสงบตามมานะหรืออยู่กับพุทโธความสงบตามมาแต่เวลามองดูความสงบดีนะมันพุทโธก็หายไปนะและสงบก็หายไปเหมือนกันนะอย่าทำแบบนี้สนใจเรื่องพุทโธอันเดียวนะไม่มีอะไรนะความสงบตามมาเองนะและเวลาอยู่กับพุทโธนะความสงบเย็นขึ้นนะทั้งตัวนะและร่างกายนะมันจะปรับตัวเอง
อย่าเอาหมายก็มีโยมไปสับสนอยู่กับไอ้เนี้ย
นะคะเอาหมายโอ้ยหลวงพ่อก็เอาหมาย ทุกเดือนเอาใหม่นะยังหลังจาก20 ปียังเอาใหม่ เพราะว่านะมันไปไม่ถูกนะบางที่ก็ไปไม่ถูกนะคิดมากนะต้องเป็นอย่างนี้นะว่าเจอก่อนเจออันนี้นะมันไม่ใช่นะมันต้องอยู่กับพุทโธอันเดียวบางทีหลวงตาก็พูดนะบางทีก็สมาธิก็หายไปนะและหาสมาธินะหาไม่เจอเพราะว่าจิตมันเสื่อมลงนะเดี๋ยวขึ้นเดี๋ยวลงเดี๋ยวขึ้นเดี๋ยวลงเดี๋ยวนี้หลวงตาพูดว่านะไม่สนเรื่องเสื่อมหรือไม่เสื่อมนะหรือขึ้นหรือไม่เสื่อมนะไม่สนใจอยู่กับพุทโธและสุดท้ายได้ So, what are we going to talk about today? Last time we talked about the ego, this illusion about the ego. It's a pretty stiff illusion. Yeah, we really think we are, but we can use this technique, in dividing it into the 5 khandhas, and then we look at the 5 khandhas, how they work together. And if you are objective enough, or if you have enough awareness, then we can see they are just groups working together, and there's no ego involved. The same thing is when we are enter samadhi, upachara samadhi, or access samadhi, then we see there's no ego, there's nobody taking hold of anything. Then we know this ego is an illusion, but the moment we come out of samadhi, it's still there. I want this, I don't like this, I don't know. And to get rid of this, we have to do investigation. We have to investigate these 5 khandhas. The problem, our biggest enemy, is avijja. Yeah? Avijja is the mastermind behind it. Yeah? If I say mastermind, don't think, it is a being. Yeah? It's not a being, it's just a phenomenon. Yeah? Mastermind, avijja, or also called, translated as fundamental ignorance. Yeah? Ignorance that doesn't know anything about itself. You can also call it, wanting to know but not being able to know, wanting to understand but not being able to understand. There is this wanting in there. Yeah? There is this desire in there. But it's not the desire that is one of the yamis. Yeah? So avijja has 3 armies. It is called greed, wanting, yeah? And the opposite is dislike. Yeah? So liking and dislike. Greed and hate. Yeah? These are the 2 armies that we are confronted most of the time. Yeah? We like this, we dislike that. We like that, and we dislike this. Yeah? So we can't even see, the mastermind behind it. Yeah? So we have first to get rid of greed and hate. Yeah? We have to first get rid of the of the illusion about the body. Yeah? Because within the body, greed and hatred are stored. Yeah? It's a root. Yeah? It's a plant. When you think about the plant, yeah? A plant needs some earth and it needs a pot. Where it is kept in. Yeah? And this pot, where the plant of greed and hate can grow, is this body. Yeah? So if you destroy the illusion about the body, greed and hatred are uprooted. Yeah? And then behind greed and hatred is delusion. Yeah? And delusion also has two of the groups, that we call, I say it again, so the 5 groups. The first group is the body. The second group is feeling, and that is separated into bodily feelings and mental feelings. The third group is memory association, and the 4th group is thinking and ideas. And the 5th group is consciousness. So our greed and hatred are rooted within the body, and bodily feeling, of course. But the delusion is rooted within thoughts and memories. Yeah? And that is very difficult, to tear them apart, because thought and memory are so intertwined that we hardly can see it. What is memory, what is thought? Yeah? And if you understand, if you then, after getting rid of greed and hate, then we can investigate delusion. Yeah? Then we can investigate the khandhas or the groups that feed on or where delusion feeds on. Yeah? And that is memory, association, and thought. Yeah? Once we can get rid of delusion, once we understand memory is memory and thought is thought, yeah? And they are just 2 different groups that work hand in hand, yeah? Then we only have the mastermind behind us. Yeah? Then the thing that is left is avijja. Yeah? And avijja is, it's ignorance pure, yeah? Not knowing. Yeah? And avijja is the mastermind, or is the phenomenon, is the mastermind behind all this conventional reality. Yeah? Is the mastermind behind all these 33 realms or 31 realms of existence. Yeah? Be it the 25 realms of the heavenly realms, yeah? Be it our human realm, be it the animal realm, be it the ghost realms, the demon realms, and the hell realms. Yeah? Well, you can think of it, just like being a computer game. Yeah? With 31 realms of playgrounds. Yeah? And from one realm you go to the next, from one, through certain means. Yeah? So a computer game has nothing behind it, but it seems, it seems to be managing quite well. Yeah? We play with it and we got stuck in it. So we played with it, and we got stuck within this samsara vata, cycle of birth and death. And that's it. It's a phenomena. Avijja itself is a phenomena that has certain characteristics, and we have to understand in order to get rid of it. But the first thing is, when you look at it, when you look at it from a soldier point of view, the first thing that we are aware of, when we start our practice, is the things that we call kilesas. And kilesas are just the fangs of avijja. Fangs are the arms, or the soldiers. You can call them soldiers of avijja. And these soldiers of avijja are there for us to keep us in their realm. It's just like, soldiers, or prison guards, in a prison, they keep us, They don't let us out, if we don't fight them. So in the beginning of our practice, these soldiers that are, sent out, to keep us in the prison are just, they're not really trained soldiers, they're just mercenaries, they're bought, so they're easy to overcome. And then, when you think about it, or when you go this path of practice, once you get rid of the mercenaries, then come the trained soldiers, And once you get rid of the trained soldiers, then come the elite soldiers, So it gets, over the time, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher, Because they're more and more trained, Mercenaries give up very easily, Soldiers, give up, not so easily, but, much easier than trained soldiers. Trained soldiers, you have to kill them, to get over them. And these are the arms of avijja, these soldiers. And the first step is, and we see, in the beginning, we just start our practice. All what we see are the easy kilesas. The kilesas of tiredness, the kilesas of sleepiness, the kilesas of not wanting, the kilesas of restlessness, and so on. They come and bother us, the kilesas of pain. They come and bother us, until we find some method, to overcome them. Once we can overcome them, then we start, and when we can come into samadhi, where we train our sati, our awareness, then we start to investigate the body, and then come the real soldiers. Once we start investigating our body, we don't like to investigate the body, because we don't like to see loathsome things. We don't like to see ugly things. Just like in this world, we don't like to see ugly people, we don't like to see our shit, and we don't like to see ugly things, or smelly things, or bad things, That's why we always turn our attention away from it, But in the body investigation, we do have to start to see these things, What is the body made out of? Have a close look, If you look, in a medical book, anatomic, atlas, we see, the parts of the body, the nerves, the tendons, the bones, the flesh, and so on, the muscles, You can see it, and it looks okay. It doesn't look, very horrible, But when we see it in reality, it looks quite horrible. So when we cut up our own body, it looks quite horrible, and disgust is coming up. And disgust is a form of dislike. So when we do body investigation, and I warn people always, when we do body investigation, disgust and hate comes up. And that is one of the reasons why we do this body investigation. To bring up hate, to be able to deal with hate. Before that, we have to learn. We learned how to deal with pain. If you haven't learned it yet, body investigation will be very difficult. We have to learn how to deal with pain. We don't have to overcome pain, completely, or to understand pain completely, but we have to learn how to deal with it. We have to learn how to investigate it. What is pain? Where is the pain? Is it constant? Is it, where is it located? Is it located in the skin? Is it located in the flesh? Is it located in the tendons? Or where is it? Yeah? And when we investigate it and we start investigating it, most of the time it is probably one of the knees, then we go with our attention to the knee and look at it, and ask this question until we come close to the answer, and then this pain disappears and goes to another spot. And that is very interesting. Yeah? When we come to this first stage, of pain investigation, where the pain disappears from one area and goes to another area, then we get startled. How come? Yeah? Before it was in my right knee, now it is in my left knee. In the right knee, there's no more pain. Yeah? But now all the pain is in the left knee. So what is pain? And that can make us much more interested. What really is pain? Where does it really come from? Where is it really located? Yeah? And so we follow it up until it shows us where it actually comes from. And this investigation of pain is the sharpening stone for our wisdom, for our investigation to gain wisdom. And with this kind of investigation technique, we start to investigate the body. The body investigation, we can start it just without too much samadhi, without too much concentration. We can start it starting with our life, when we were born. And so we roll back our life, 1 year ago, how did I look, how did I feel, and so on, until we come to the birth, And then we go, we can't go, to our death because we haven't died yet, So we look for our parents, who got older, and our grandparents who have died, So we look at the cycle of this body, because normally we don't see it, arising or being born and die, At least not within a meditation session, But we can look at it this way, And then we can ask ourselves questions about the body. We love this body so much. So what happened? What happened when we were born? We were lying flat on our back. Doctor probably helped us to start breathing, and then we lie flat on our back. And then we started to move. To move the hands or move the feet, until we get a little bit accustomed, to moving this body, and then going on to learn to walk, and then going on to learn to talk, and then going on to learn to think, and that takes, it takes a long time. For most of us, it takes 14, 15, 16 years, to train this body, until we can use it completely. No, but an 8-year-old cannot use his body, as we can use with 20 years, he doesn't have all the functionalities installed yet, So looking at this body, looking at this body just like a robot, a biological robot that we start to program. And we program it for a long, long time, 15 years, it takes us, or 16 years, When we go to university, 24 years. It's just for programming this body so that we can use it then later for our, what we think our amusement. Everybody probably remembers when he was 11, he wanted to be 18 years old, but time didn't pass, fast. Slowly we had to learn this, we had to learn that, we had to learn all these things, to be able to move this body around in this world. And then, when we are 15 or 16 or 20, then we can use this body. Look at other people. We can use this body for 30 years. Pretty much, pretty well. And then with the age of 45, it starts to decay. It starts to fall apart. And sometimes it takes 40 years to fall apart. Sometimes only 20 years, and sometimes 30 years, and sometimes 50 years. Until there's no more breath, until the body really has died. With 45, we start noticing it, pain that has never been there before, or the ability, maybe not to remember things as well as we did, and so on and so on. Yeah? But with 60, it starts rapidly, decomposing, yeah, or decay, yeah, until we die. Yeah? So we train this body, think about it, and this is something that you should think about. Yeah? We train this body for 15 years. We can use it for 30 years, without complications, most of us. Yeah? And then we have to wait until it, falls apart, for 40 years. Yeah? And then ask yourself, is all this work, worthwhile? What does the body give us? And that is the question that we should ask ourselves. What is this body giving us? What kind of joy? What kind of... Yeah? Well, there are certain things, that it gives us. It gives us the mobility. It gives us the way how to create things, with our arms or with our feet. Yeah, it gives us, through our intellect to create mental things, or even physical things. Yeah, just like a car, but much more complicated than a car. Yeah. Or like a robot, but much more complicated. A robot can do a lot of complicated tasks, but not as much as complicated and not as flexible as we. Yeah? So this body does have, for the creation of things. Yeah. But what kind of other things does it give us? It gives us constantly pain. Yeah. It gives us dukkha. Yeah? The dukkha of, needing to feed it, the dukkha of hunger, the dukkha of thirst, the dukkha of tiredness, because it becomes tired. Yeah? It's not like a car that could run for 24 hours. Yeah? No. It's a car, that can run for 20 hours, and then it needs some rest. Yeah? So we have to put it to rest, we have to move it around. It cannot stand still at the same, in the same position. Yeah? When we lie for 24 hours, we feel sore. And when we stand for 24 hours, we feel sore. When we sit for 24 hours, we feel sore. Yeah? We constantly have to move it, yeah, so that it doesn't rust, yeah. So that's the dukkha of the body. We have to encounter that, yeah. Of course, this body gives us the ability to create, and to make things, yeah, make physical things, yeah, or, create mental things, yeah. Does give us the ability, but, it has a lot of downsides as well. And then, looking at these, yeah, it is not so difficult to look at these, yeah. Looking at the downsides, when you're not as old, as 60, you don't know the downsides yet. Yeah. So then look at your parents, how they complain, or look at older people, how they complain. Yeah. And especially, if they get 70, they complain a lot, because this body is just not working anymore, the way it used to work. Yeah. And what do we do with old people? We put them in old people's home. That is not... thinking about that, being stuck with all these old people, and wherever we look, we see people who hardly can move or constantly are in pain. That is no fun. Yeah? But that is something that awaits us, sooner or later. Yeah? So thinking about the cycle, just the cycle of this one body, yeah? It gives us, hopefully, a motivation, to get out of the cycle. Yeah? Because if we don't do anything, sooner or later we will have another human body. And this other human body, we have to do the same thing. We have to train it again. Yeah? Yeah? Then we can use it, yeah? And then we have to wait for for our death until we get a new body. Yeah? We are stuck in this body somehow. Yeah? Just like, and we believe that we are the body, yeah? And that is the first thing that we have to investigate. Yeah? Then, when we start with the body investigation, the first thing is, of course, looking at the cycle of the body, yeah? And then looking at What goes into the body, what goes onto the body is always nice. What comes out of the body or what goes off the body, is always disgusting. Yeah? The food that goes into the body we like. Yeah? The shit that comes out of the body we dislike. Yeah? The drinks that go into the body we like. It has different tastes. It comes out, it just has one taste. Yeah? And one color. Yeah? Sometimes it's a little bit more yellow and sometimes it's less yellow, yeah? But it's always yellow, yeah? Called urine, yeah? We don't like to drink it anymore, yeah? And we don't like to eat the shit that comes out of the body. But as long as it is, stuck in the body, we don't mind, yeah? But the moment it moves, it moves down, and comes out of the hole, then we don't like it. Yeah? As long as it is in the body, we don't mind. We don't find it disgusting. The moment it comes out, we find it disgusting. We look at it, we don't even want to touch it. Yeah? We like to touch our body, but we don't like to touch the things that come out of the body. Why? And that's where you see, that's where greed and hatred are rooted. That's where you can see, greed and hatred are rooted in the body. We like the things that go into the body or on the body, but we don't like the things, we hate the things that come out of the body or come off the body. Just like the skin, think about the skin, when it peels off, and it is on your table where you have a very nice meal, you don't like, you find it disgusting. Or cut your nails, and put it next to your food, you find it disgusting. Or or just take a shower, It's nice to take a shower, and in the drainage, when we look at it, when the hair is, together with the soap, we find it disgusting to pull it off. Just a minute ago, it was on our hair, and we loved it, The moment it comes off, we are disgusted. So there is something wrong, with our view about the body. Yeah? Either it is completely neutral, that's the way the body is, just like we see a car, it is pretty neutral, not for some people, but for most people, it's pretty neutral, okay, they use it, they look under the hood, and see, okay, engine is full of oil, or dirty and so, and sometimes they wash it, and it's fine, but they don't find it disgusting, But we do find it disgusting, whatever comes out of the body or what comes off the body. Let you have a very nice meal. You don't have to wash your hair. Just a few hair fall into your soup, or in your meal, and you find it disgusting. It's your hair. It was just on the body. So there's something wrong with our understanding of our body. And this wrong understanding or this misunderstanding we have to correct. And we only can correct that, with our investigation of the body. To see that the things that come into the body are not really nice, the things that come out of the body are not really disgusting. But we don't get to this view unless we really accept, the disgusting, what we find disgusting, the disgusting nature of the body. Just let people, open a corpse, and they will throw up. When you see an open corpse, you will throw up, or you will fall unconscious. That happens to most of the students in the medical school. The first time they open a corpse. And even, even the second or third semester, once these students say, oh wow, you have autopsy, Be careful, you will throw up. No, I'm not going to throw up. See the open, blah, throw up, That's what normally happens, we just don't, we feel so disgusted when we see the inside of this body, And that is something that we have to work on, And with this disgust, and disgust is something, it is a form of hate, So the more we see this disgust, the more hate comes up, Because we do actually destroy the delusion about the body, that the body is something fantastic, People see it, people in the world, especially in the Western world, see the body harm, it's fantastic. Yeah? I don't see it as fantastic. All the pain it gives me, all the time, all the care I have to take off. Yeah? Think about the people living in the world, they live for taking care of the body. They build houses, to house the body. They work, to buy clothes, to clothe the body. Or they work, to buy medicine, to when the body is sick, to heal the body, and so on. And they work, to feed the body. What do they have from their life, because they constantly have to work to look after this body. Yeah? So 95% of the time is looking after the body, working for this body. Yeah? And 5% of the time, we can relax, go to the cinema, or drink a coffee, or do something, that we really enjoy. Yeah? Reading a book, watching a movie, or, going to places. Yeah? But most of it, if you don't have money, or if you don't have means to go, we have to work for it. Yeah? So all our life, we spend on working for this body, and we hardly get anything out of it. First of all, the first 15 years we have to train it, and then we can use it, but in this time where we really can use it, we have to work. Yeah? We have to work 7 or 8 hours, or sometimes 9 hours a day, to keep that body, alive. Yeah? And then when we come back from working, we are really tired, and we have only a few hours, that we can spend to relax, and feed the body, and house the body and clothe the body. Yeah? So the question that you should ask yourself is that worthwhile? Is it really worthwhile? Yeah? Normally, when we spend our money on some things, we ask ourselves, is it really worthwhile? Yeah? Does it bring me the things that I expected? Yeah? And we have never asked this question about this body. We take it for granted, and we know, okay, yes, we have to work, to get it fed, to get it housed, and we have to do all these things. Yeah? But we should ask ourselves now that we are practitioners, we should ask ourselves, is it really worthwhile? Yeah? Looking constantly after the body, and doing only the things, for this body, and not having enough time, to enjoy the functionality of this body. So that is the first, that is the first kind of investigation. Then the second type of investigation is that this body is not us. Yeah? So throw it out in front of you, cut it up, cut up your body, and put it out in front of you. When you cut off, hand, and lay it in front of you, cut off the second hand, lay it in front of you, cut off the arms, and so on, until all the things are out there. Yeah? You can place it on a heap, you can place it, very, very orderly, whatever you like. Yeah? When all the parts are out of the body, you don't do it really, you do it in imagination while your eyes are closed. Yeah? Not that somebody comes tomorrow with no hands or feet. Yeah? No, you do it in your imagination, you sit in meditation, you close your eyes, and then mentally you cut off your hand. When you cut it off, you have a look at it, how it looks, when it is cut off, and then you place it there, and then you place the next thing there, until there's no more part sitting here, and all the parts are in front of you. Then you ask yourself, what is the body? Is the hand the body? Is the brain the body? Is the liver the body? Is the heart the body? Is the nerves the body? Is the muscles the body? What is the body? Because what you have is body parts. Yeah? And there's no, the body is now out there, and there's somebody's sitting here and seeing these body parts. Yeah? And the interesting thing is, when you do that often enough, sometimes, sooner or later, maybe it takes 100 times, maybe it takes 1,000 times. When you do it, something clicks, and then suddenly you really see, there are body parts, and somebody's sitting here. The chitta is still sitting here while the body parts are out there. And then you take one of the body parts back, and suddenly, I comes back. The I, the ego comes back. Oh, to me. But before, there wasn't. There were only body parts. The moment you take some body parts, put them back together, suddenly I comes back. And then you put them out again, the I is gone. The ego is gone. And then you put it back. Yeah? So that is some one kind of investigation how you can do it, to separate yourself out, to see that you are not the body. Yeah? That there is something, that observes all these body parts. Yeah? But that doesn't cut down yet on greed and hate. Yeah? We just know that we are not the body. Just like somebody who is born in a car, and dies in a car, believes, of course, he is the car. Until somebody comes and knocks on his window and says, "Get out!" Yeah? Why, I can't get out, I'm stuck in this car, I'm in... Yeah, you can get out, open the door, and get out. And then he gets out and looks at the car, and then he says, I'm not the car. But the moment he gets into the car, he's back in again, So he has to do that several times until he realized, oh, the car is a very nice feature, yeah? I mean, we all love cars, we all love them to drive around, to get our things done, and so on, yeah? So to understand, that we are not the body is the first kind of insight that we get through investigation of the body. The second thing is, to get at the core of greed and hate, yeah? And that's why we have to do a super practice, it's called a super practice, or seeing the loathsomeness of the body. Yeah? That's why we have to cut it up, and really look at it. And with this kind of investigation, yeah, not why we do investigation of the body, opening it up, yeah. I mean, we can look at one thing, for instance, we take the skin, yeah. And then we look at it, in the beginning, we look at it for 2 or 3 minutes, huh? Then close our eyes and get the image back, yeah, until this image becomes really lively, yeah. And then we can turn around, we just take the skin, within our image, we can turn around this image and let's have a look, how the skin looks from underneath. Or look where the hair is coming out of the skin, or where the pore, where is the sweat coming out? There must be lots of holes in the skin, yeah, so that the sweat comes out. And then we look at it, yeah. Or we take another object, we take the liver, or we take the stomach, or we take the intestine, and have a look at it. Yeah? In the beginning, it's just an imagination. But, the longer we do it, the more real it becomes. And the more real it becomes, the more disgust comes up. Yeah? While we do the investigation, it is interesting. Yeah? When we stop this meditation, we get very agitated. And this is something that I have to warn you about. Yeah? This agitation comes from seeing the loathsomeness of the body. Yeah? It has nothing to do with the other person that just happens to be there. It has nothing to do with the situation you are in there. It all stems, from our investigation of the body. So that is a form of hate. Yeah? So we deal with it, just like we deal with pain. Yeah? So we investigate what is hate. Yeah? What is this feeling of disgust? Oh, what is the feeling of disgust? What is the feeling of awfulness? Or this form of anger, yeah, that comes up. Yeah? And the more realistic we do it, the more anger comes up. Yeah? So be careful, don't let it out on others, because then the investigation is pretty useless. Yeah, we want this, to be able to deal with anger, yeah? To deal with greed is much more difficult, yeah. But we deal with anger first, yeah, and then we can deal with greed. Yeah? And once the investigation of the body is finished, yeah, that's the end of greed and hate. Yeah? Once we see, greed and hate, are just is one coin with 2 sides, yeah. Some people like the head, other people like the tail of the coin. Yeah? But it's still one coin. Yeah? So greed and hate come in tandem. Yeah? They come in one go, and they are finished in one go. Yeah? Yeah? Once we understand it's a coin, with 2 sides, yeah? Greed and hate, yeah? Likes and dislikes, yeah? we understand, that greed and hate is gone, because we know, it has no value. It's just because we like things, and just because we like things, we also dislike things. It is impossible only to like things. The more you like one thing, the more you dislike another thing. It's the same coin. The bigger the coin is, the bigger the hate is, and the bigger the likes is. The smaller the coin, the less the hate is, and the less the greed is. And through our investigation of the body, we cut down on this greed and hate. The more we see, there's nothing really, there's nothing really to get attached to this body. The body is just a body. It's just just like a tree, or something like that. A very complex, complicated one, But that's it, And the more we understand it, the more we cut down on the greed and hate. But we cannot eliminate it. Not yet. We have to really get down to a point in the investigation where we can actually see greed and hate at the same time. We can't see it. We either like something or we dislike it. But we can't see both things at the same time. Once we can see both things at the same time, we can just walk through the middle, and then, behind us, greed and hate are eliminated, are destroyed. And that's the end of the body investigation. And the end of the body investigation is also the third stage of enlightenment. There are 4 stages of enlightenment. The first is the stage of Sotapanna, the stream enterer. A person who has entered the stream has understood that the body and the citta are 2 different things. That is the third fetter. The first fetter is the fetter of doubt. Doubt that we believe, that we don't believe in karma. Doubt that we don't believe in hell or heaven. Doubt that we don't, believe that there are beings in heaven and there are beings in hell. These are the form of doubt. The second fetter that keeps us bound to this realm, is the fetter of not practicing the sila, not practicing morality. Today we keep the sila, the 5 precepts. Tomorrow we break one of them. And then we say, oh, we are so sorry, and then we keep them again, and then we break them again. That is the second fetter. Keeping them, breaking them, keeping them, breaking them. So, if you want to get rid of the second fetter from now on, we just keep the 5 precepts without any doubt. The first fetter is, for people, for some of the people, it is the biggest fetter, because they doubt that there is heaven and they doubt that there is hell, that they can't get anywhere in their practice, But for most of us, who are Buddhists, who trust the teaching of the Lord Buddha, they trust, trust that there's heaven and hell, and there's karma, and that there are results of karma. If we do good karma, we get good results. If we do bad karma, we get bad results. So the third fetter is for most of the people who have overcome the first 2 fetters, more or less, is the identification with this body, that we are the body. So get out of the body, look at the body and see that you are not the body. Or put it in bits and pieces in front of you, and then just like, ask what is pain, ask what is the body. Is the hand the body? Is the heart the body? Is the brain the body? What part of the body is the body? Or it's just, just like the ego that is a combination of the 5 khandhas. The moment you take it out, there's only body, there's feelings, there's memory, and there's thoughts and consciousness. 5 different groups, but there's no ego. The moment you put them together, bloops, the ego comes out. It's just with the body. The body parts are out there, there's no body. The moment you put it together, boops, the body comes out. And the identification with the body comes out. And that's why we have to do it. And once you get to this third fetter, once you can cut it down and understand, the moment you really understand, you really know that you're not the body, this third fetter is broken, and if the other 2 fetters are pretty much broken as well, or minimized, until they are as fine as a hair, they're all broken, and then you enter the stream. And entering the stream means, you have at most 7 more lives to go. Yeah. A stream enterer knows he's not the body. He still enjoys the body, just like the guy who gets out of this car said, "Oh wow, yeah, I'm not the car, but I love this car." Yeah, it's a Lamborghini, or it's just a Fiat 500, no matter what, but they still love this car, just like the Sotapanna still loves this body, because he thinks, he's completely delusional about the body, that actually we have to take care of the body all the time. So that's why he has to do this investigation of asubha, of the loathsomeness of the body, and also the reflection about what is this life about. Yeah? To understand that. And then he goes through, he cuts down on greed and hate, for 50%, and then he comes to the stage of once returner. Yeah? And the final understanding of, letting go of greed and hate, yeah? Of understanding what the nature of greed and hate and the nature of the body, he enters into the stage of non-returner. Yeah? And this non-returner has done only 50% of his job. Because now he has to face a major battle with delusion. Yeah? He still is deluded about himself, but not about the body, but about his mental facilities, thoughts and ideas and so on. He still can have quite an ego, but it is not as strong as the ego while he is still attached to the body. So he has to fight that. Yeah? And once the delusion is gone, yeah, then he has to fight the mastermind, avijja. Okay. Yeah? But our task is probably, just to get to the stage of Sotapanna, to investigate the body enough so that we know we are not the body, and keep the silas from now on, yeah, and don't doubt that there is heaven, yeah. If you want to see heavenly beings, you can see them if you want to, yeah. If you see beings in hell, you can see them if you want to. Yeah? If you want to see ghosts, you can see them if you want to. Yeah? It's not impossible. Yeah? So don't doubt that. Yeah, keep the precepts, and then start to work on the identification with the body, that you think you are the body. Yeah? Get out of it. Look at it. Looks like me, but it's not me. Who is looking at it? Yeah? And then you can enter the stream. Yeah? But without enough sati, we never get objective. Yeah? You always have the subjective feeling, we are the body. Yeah? So, I guess that's enough for today. Yeah? Understood now? Yeah? So, I don't think there are any questions. So, yeah? So, oh, da. Ja.
Und die ersten beiden Fesseln auch alleine irgendwie brechen oder muss man das im Tritt auch gleichzeitig brechen?
Nein. Die ersten 3 Fesseln werden zusammengebrochen. The first 3 fetters break in one moment. The problematic fetter is the third fetter. Yeah? But you can lose the identification, but it doesn't really make too much sense. Yeah? You still can break the silas. Yeah. So all 3 fetters will be broken in one go. Yeah. And how the fetters are broken is that you get through investigation, yeah, or you get into deep samadhi, and where you can really see reality, and at that time, when all the fetters are just, as thin as hair, they will break. Then the understanding will come. Once you come out of samadhi, it is a different kind of deep samadhi. Then you're not going back to hell anymore. But this knowing is very different from thinking. Yeah? Lots of people think that they don't go to hell. But it's just a thought. Yeah? No, all these fetters, you work as if a practitioner. I mean, first of all, I mean, you don't doubt, yeah, that there's heaven and hell and karma and the results of karma, and you keep your precepts, and then you just work on the third fetter. Yeah.
And the first fetter is more about motivation, because it motivates us to go.
Yeah.
But the understanding what is hell and heaven, it's up to us to understand. It's like it exists the same way we exist.
Well, that the last part of the question I didn't understand.
Like that guy, American guy, he said, heaven and hell exist exactly the same way you are.
Which American guy?
Yeah. I'm not going to do the Adams.
Oh!
They exist in the same way that you exist.
The what?
Heaven and hell exist in the same way as you do, he said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you exist, heaven and hell exist, I mean, ghosts exist, everything exists, yeah?
But I mean that when we associate ourselves with our body, we understand heaven and hell like a place where our body is going to be created the same body, but more we understand our nature, better it develops our understanding of heaven and hell.
Sorry, I mean, first of all, I really don't clearly understand what you're trying to say, yeah? And I mean, it is too mental, yeah? I mean, it is trying to understand with our brains. This is not our way of practice. Practice is seeing, observing things as they are, yeah? And through observing things as they are, we understand. But this understanding doesn't come through thoughts and ideas.
I'm trying to say that we shouldn't stick to images of heaven and hell.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter as long as you believe there is heaven and hell, yeah? You don't have to picture it, you don't have to paint it, yeah? But you should never negate it, yeah? I mean, in the beginning, I didn't know if there was heaven and hell. I said, I don't know, yeah? I mean, that's good enough. I don't doubt that there is it, but I can't prove it that there is, yeah? That's enough. About karma, I was really sure, I mean, that there is karma, yeah? Because I experienced it in my own way, yeah? And once you see, I mean, you have interaction, with the heavenly realm or with the ghost realm, I mean, then you know, yeah? But before that, don't doubt it, yeah? Say, I don't know, I mean, probably there is, I mean, the Lord Buddha said it. And the Lord Buddha, because the people at the same time, were just disbelievers as we are. So on one day, he opened the worlds for them to see. So the devas came from the heavenly realm and, and the hell realm opened up so that people could see with their eyes, Now we can only see with our inner eyes, but they could see with their physical eyes. Oh, yeah, the beings in hell and the devas, yeah. But that was at a time when the Lord Buddha was there, and I mean, this time will come back, maybe in 10 or 20,000 years, yeah, when the next Buddha comes. Okay? Yeah. The important thing is, to get the identification, yeah, and that is very, very difficult. That's not easy. Yeah? I mean, the moment you wake up, you feel it's me, yeah. The moment you look in the mirror, you feel it's me, yeah. This identification is there. When you're sick, you feel I'm sick. When the body is, when the body hurts, I'm in pain. Yeah? You always identify with this body. And to get out this identification is not easy. Yeah? I mean, it takes a lot of training. It might take months, it might take years, of very intensive training. But without the ability to concentrate on what we want to concentrate, and in this case we want to concentrate on the body parts, taking them out, putting them in front of us, I mean, you will have no ability to cut it off. Yeah? Okay? So. Alles klar, Thorsten? ครูบาคันเทพเข้าใจไหมเข้าใจบ้างไหมไม่เคยถามท่านอเล็กท่านนึก Thought of the body, huh?
Your feet